Just an hour before my sister-in-law's wedding, I went into labor. My mother-in-law took my phone and locked me in the bathroom, telling me to wait so I wouldn't steal my sister-in-law's attention on her special day. A few hours later, I woke up in the hospital, and my mother-in-law was begging me not to press charges, but she went pale when my husband, Rick, made an announcement. Rick, 30, and I, 29, just had our first child, a daughter named May, 2 weeks ago. We're adjusting to parenthood, and it's been overwhelming. The joy of having May hasn't erased the fear I felt on the day she was born. I almost didn't make it through, but Rick was there to help. Despite everything that happened, I feel conflicted about what happened with my family and wonder if I should be softer with them. I'm still hormonal and adjusting to baby life, so I'm turning to Reddit for advice. Here's the backstory. Rick has 2 younger sisters, Anna, 28, and Emma, 24. I get along with both of them, though we're not super close because of our busy lives. Emma doesn't live in the same city, but we stay in touch. Rick's mom, Rachel, 53, is a different story. She's controlling and wants things her way. She raised Rick and his siblings after their dad left, so they try to keep her happy. Rachel doesn't like me, and I try to stay away. Rick knows this, and we've agreed to just keep things distant. But things went too far on the day May was born. Anna was getting married that day. She asked me to be a bridesmaid when she got engaged, but when I found out I was pregnant, I had to ask her to choose someone else. It was only 6 months before the wedding, and I was already 3 months pregnant. I was nervous about telling Anna, but she surprised me by being completely understanding. She even offered to move the wedding so I could be there. In the end, she didn't do that, but she was supportive, and I appreciated it. Emma became the maid of honor, and I kept my distance, focusing on the pregnancy, though both sisters stayed in touch. Rachel, however, wasn't happy about me stepping down as maid of honor. She didn't show it at first, but I started feeling her hostility. Despite Anna being fine with it, Rachel started making things difficult for me. I thought I was just imagining things because of hormones, but I soon realized I wasn't. On the day of Anna's wedding, I was heavily pregnant. My feet were swollen, and I felt exhausted, but I still wanted to be there for Anna. I even asked her if she really wanted me to attend, worrying that my pregnancy might take attention away from her. Anna was upset that I thought that way and insisted I attend. I knew she meant it, so I went, even though I was uncomfortable. The wedding was fine, but Rachel barely spoke to me and just glared at me the whole time. I ignored her because I was there for Anna, but things took a scary turn just before the ceremony started. I was feeling off, so I went upstairs to rest. Rachel followed me, and I ended up in the bathroom, where my water broke. I panicked because it was the worst timing, but luckily, Rachel was there to help. I told her to take my phone and call Rick, but instead, she made me sit in the bathroom. I gave her my phone. That's when she completely lost it. She said she'd only let Rick come after the ceremony was over so I wouldn't steal Anna's spotlight. I asked if she was crazy, and she replied that I couldn't possibly handle waiting for an hour. When I tried to snatch my phone back, she locked me in the bathroom and took it with her. So there I was, pregnant and about to have my baby, stuck on a toilet in a bathroom with no phone and no husband. I still don't know how I didn't have a full panic attack, and thank God I didn't, because I can't imagine what might have happened. I managed to get up and slowly made my way to the door, banging on it and screaming until I lost my voice. But because the washrooms were on the first floor and everyone was in the wedding hall, no one heard me. I kept screaming until I felt like I was going to die with my baby. I was exhausted, soaked, and sweating a lot. Then everything went blank. I passed out, and I don't remember how I got to the hospital. I just know I woke up a few hours later with Rick by my side, crying. At first, I thought the worst when I saw him sobbing. Memories of being locked in the bathroom and my screams came back, and I feared that May hadn't made it. When Rick saw I was awake, he sighed in relief and held me as he cried. Soon after, a nurse came in with a baby girl, and I felt an enormous wave of relief. I almost wanted to slap Rick for scaring me like that, but he explained he wasn't trying to hurt me. He was just so relieved I was okay after finding me unconscious in the bathroom. Holding my daughter for the first time was a feeling I'll never forget. Rick didn't go into details because I was too tired, but I could hear some noise outside. When I asked, he said my mother-in-law was there, wanting to see her granddaughter. I told him everything, how she had endangered our baby for no reason, and I made it clear that I never wanted her near May again. To me, she was dead, I said. Rick replied that he knew everything because when he found me, she broke down and told him all about it. I said that didn't mean I would forgive her, and he laughed, saying his mother was dead to him from that moment. He even planned to press charges for endangering our lives. Hearing him say that lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. I know he loves his mother, as do his sisters, but after what she did, I couldn't forgive her. If Rick had chosen her over me, our marriage would have been over. Deep down, I was scared he might, but he stood up for me, and that made me love him even more. I asked how the wedding went, and Rick said it was fine. Anna and Emma were waiting for his call to come visit us. When I asked if Anna was mad, he laughed, saying Anna was beaming with pride and joy. She even said having our complete family at the wedding was the best gift. She felt that May's birth was a blessing. Hearing that brought tears to my eyes, and I told him to call them right away. Soon, Anna, Emma, and Jonah arrived at the hospital. Anna and Jonah were still in their wedding clothes, and Anna joked about taking a wedding picture with her niece. It was a heartwarming moment. I apologized to Anna for ruining her day, but she hugged me and said I had made her day. I explained what my mother-in-law had done, and Anna said that the only mistake was not telling everyone sooner so they could have stopped her drama. Emma agreed, saying that any trouble was fine as long as I was safe. I cried because I felt truly loved and supported, not just as Rick's wife, but as part of the family. I still can't understand how my mother-in-law could be so different from the rest of them. Meanwhile, Rick talked to my mother-in-law outside. When I came home from the hospital a few days later with May, Rick told me that he made it clear to her that he would press charges and that she was never allowed near May again. He even said she wouldn't get any more money from him or Emma. That made her cry and say that she'd worked her whole life for the kids and didn't deserve that. Rick reminded her that while he appreciated everything she'd done, she couldn't control our lives. He told her she had crossed a huge line and was not safe around May. At that point, Anna said firmly, "We are proceeding with the case," but Rick decided to handle it since I had a newborn to care for. Now, none of his siblings want to talk to her. Anna has completely cut her off, and Emma only communicates when necessary. Rick and I are no longer in contact with her. I don't think my mother-in-law meant for things to go this far. Maybe she only wanted to protect Anna, but I'm not defending her. I feel terrible about what happened, and a part of me wonders if someone should try to help her. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just not thinking straight. I know if I brought this up with Rick, he'd get furious. I never expected things to turn out like this, but here we are. Update 1. I haven't posted an update in a while because being a new mom is overwhelming. May will be 8 weeks old soon, and we're all very excited. Anna and Jonah have been incredibly supportive, and Emma calls almost every day. May is the light of everyone's life, and our group chat is filled with her pictures. We haven't had any contact with my mother-in-law. I convinced Rick not to press charges because we have too much going on, even though he was reluctant at first. When we told her last week, she pretended to be thankful, but we all know she's unstable. One night around 1 a.m., Rick and I woke up to loud banging on our door. I thought someone was breaking in and hid with May while Rick went to answer it. I heard shouting, but I stayed hidden so as not to wake our baby. It turned out to be my mother-in-law again. Rick said she was acting like a crazy person, screaming that she wanted to see May and that we couldn't keep her away. Rick even had to threaten her with calling the police before she backed off. We immediately told Anna and Emma so they'd know something was wrong. The next day, my mother-in-law sent us a very disturbing text. She said we were being mean to her by not letting her see May and that we were punishing her just because she's a mother. The message got worse and more unstable as it went on. She complained about having to raise 3 kids and said she was worried that May's arrival would make her less important to them. She even admitted she hoped Anna would be mad at us so May wouldn't take all the attention. I was shocked that a woman over 50 would compete with a 7-week-old baby for attention. I asked Rick to block her number. I told him she was deranged and unsafe for all of us, and I ended up with a terrible headache from reading her messages. I forwarded her text to Anna and Emma, and they were equally disturbed. They even think she might be having a manic episode. Emma said she might fly down to have her evaluated at a facility. I think that might be a good idea, but I'm staying out of it now. Her behavior is just too much. Update 2. We now have a restraining order against my mother-in-law. She hasn't tried anything since, but we're still very careful. Emma had her evaluated by a psychologist and a psychiatrist. It turns out she has generalized anxiety disorder, but nothing else seems to be causing her behavior. The doctor suggested therapy, and Emma has decided to go no contact with her. Even though my mother-in-law once had my sympathy, I just can't put up with her hateful behavior anymore. That's why we got a restraining order, for Rick, for me, and for May. My mother-in-law has proven twice now that she isn't safe around us, and she has a special grudge against May. I really hope I never have to update anyone about this again.